Today's Japanese slang term is gacha詰めpochi. Now, I've talked about poochi before. It's not a porch, but a pouch, especially a nui poochi where you keep your nui and let them see the world. A gacha tsume pochi is therefore a pouch where you tsumeru your gacha, not like on a video game on your phone, but when we're removed from the digital world and have actual physical objects that randomly come out of a machine. Just like the purpose of a nui poochi is in part to show off your nui to the world, the purpose of a gacha tsume poochi is to show off your gacha. But not just that, it's also to show off kind of how many you have and how good you are at organizing them. Indeed, there's a lot of gacha tsume poochi, and if I'm being blunt, they all kind of rule. They're really cool. Seems like a really awesome project. And people are really clever in how they make them. For instance, this person just really likes meat, and they have a lot of meat gachas, and so they made gacha tsume pochi. And as you can see, they're very much smaller than the nui pochi I discussed earlier, being the size you can even just clip onto a keychain. And yeah, as you can see in this advertisement for gacha tsume pochi, part of the deal is showing this off. These aren't just for you. They're something you definitely want the world to see, especially if you've done a really good job. That phrase there you see in the advertisement misearuki is not in a dictionary or anything, but it is not a term that was made up by the advertisement. It's a bonus slang of this episode. It means to take something and walk with it in a way that shows it off. Here is a more natural use of the term to refer to people who have bags and have their plushies staring out of a hole. And I can find uses of this term going back to at least 2017. By returning to the misearuki that you do with gacha tsume pochi, there are a lot of really interesting reasons that people build these. For instance, some are themed around a specific color. Indeed, color-based ones seem to be extremely popular. Oftentimes, and not surprisingly, the color you select, of course, is based on your oshi kara, or the color that is associated with your oshi. This person, I guess, has 4 oshi, and therefore 4 different color-based gacha tsume pochi. And just here's another example for good measure: 2 oshis from the Idolmaster series, and 2 different colored gacha tsume pochi. It doesn't have to be oshikatsu though. We saw one that was earlier just because the person liked green. Here's one that's based on a specific time period, which I think is really cool. There are more than a few I saw based on shippings or couplings. This one here references Hoen, which is apparently a shipping of 2 characters from Boku no Hero Academia. You didn't think you'd be learning about specific shipping names in this video, did you? Well, neither did I in looking up the data for it. And there's a few that I think are charming of ones based around geographic locations where either people like to spend time or are from. This person, for instance, made a gacha tsume pochi centered around Aichi Prefecture, and here's one that is centered around Fukuoka, where the person says is their hometown. Indeed, you can even show your loyalty to a brand, such as this one here for Komeda Coffee, which I want. I really like this one. I would like to buy it. Please send it to me. As for when this fad kind of took off, Google Trends shows a clear jump in interest around 2022, and that's actually when the first tweets appear too. I could not find a single tweet using this term before 2022. That doesn't mean it never existed, but at least it doesn't seem to have had this name before this time. Indeed, while there are multiple Instagram accounts now dedicated entirely to making and showing off gacha tsume pochi, none of them have a single post that dates before 2022. And this kind of makes sense because 2022 is the beginning of what is called the 5th capsule boom. Yes, there are 5 of them. Check out this link if you'd like to know more, but we are currently in that 5th one, so a new sort of oshikatsu, or I guess gachakatsu, starting in 2022 makes complete sense given all of this background. And again, unsurprising given that increase we saw in Google Trends, this was labeled the number 6 top trend in 2023 in at least one survey of Japanese trends popular among young people. And finally, of course, the most definite proof that this thing is a really popular activity right now is that gacha tsume pochi is a term being used by stores to sell various materials you need to make them. When a store is using the term, that means that people are definitely interested in it and searching specifically for it. So if you like gacha and you like pochi and you like tsumeru-ing gacha into pochi, well, guess what? I have the activity for you. It's still popping off right now, so make sure you hop into it now before we hit the lull before the 6th gacha boom, because who knows what will be popular then. See you next time.